We're here with a very special guest all the way in Stockton, California. We're here live here with Dilly.
Been good. I've been good. I've just been working, trying to get some more music, constantly writing music, in contact with some producers, trying to get an album out soon. So a lot of promotions going on. So yeah, a lot of things going on in the music world at the moment.
I've known about you for quite some time. I know that in October of 2021, you released a single. You released a single called MmmHmm. So it's out right now. And yeah, let's talk about that.
That song was so much fun to create. Davion, my producer, he sent me a beat pack. The track for was in there, and I was going through all of them, whatever. And then I seen that one, and I was like, whoa, like the da 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 da, so catchy. So I was like, I need to get something. I need to get something on this track. I think it was like 2 weeks after he sent that beat pack. I was in LA. We created the song. Key and I hopped on the track as well. Super last minute, and it just tied the whole thing together.
Now, I know that you're from Stockton, California. I know there's a lot of artists that come from different parts of California, but let's just hit the Stockton right now. For you, I mean, being from Stockton, California, what's the music scene like there? And how has Stockton, California played a big part in your career?
The music scene here is pretty cool actually for such a I guess small city, you could say. We do have a very live music scene, and it's mostly like rap. It's a lot of rap. It's a lot of hip hop, and there's a lot of artists out of Stockton that are super cool and that are super underrated. And I think that influence really changed the way that I kind of created my music um, as I got older, and as I'm growing and making more music. I realized that I was taking a lot of influence from obviously a lot of other artists. I take influence from any artist. I listen to everything from freaking jazz to rap to even some country here and there. So as I started to realize the music scene that we have in Stockton, and taking some influence from that, I think it helped me really find my lane as to what I wanted to be in the way that I create music.
Now, you talk about the influences that have had on your career. I want to go back on a few songs that you've had over the years of your career. I know that you started with Cherry Coke and 18 Plus. Let's talk about the growth and the development from both of those two songs, because I mean, they're both great songs.
Thank you. I think that the way that I operated then compared to the way that I operate now is almost a drastic change. I feel like a completely different person now than I was then. Um, but it's crazy because those songs still mean so much to me at the end of the day. Like my writing, every time I write a song, I always try and relate it to something in my life. So most of my songs, even though they'll be metaphorically twisted and shaped into a way where other people can relate to it, for me, it always means something personal. So I feel like in the way that I create my music, in the way that I create my songs and put my experiences into these songs hasn't necessarily changed, but the way that I view life or the situations that I go through now versus then have changed so much. So it's weird. It's like I have changed, but you know what I mean? The way that I create my music hasn't changed much at all.
Very musically inclined. You got a lot of instruments in your background.
So I've played the guitar since I was 6 years old. I play piano. I can play have you ever heard of a djembe? Yeah, so I can play the djembe and then the ukulele.
Talk about the way that you've been able to create music and the way that you've been able to have such memorable moments in your career. Let's talk about your memorable moments. I know you work with a lot of great people, and I know that you performed at South by Southwest.
It's funny you mentioned South by Southwest because that's actually probably one of the most memorable moments I've had in my career. I played South by in 2019. And leading up to the show, it was because I was still in school at the time. I was still in high school. So leading up to the show, it was school Monday through Friday. Friday after school or Saturday morning, I would fly to LA and have a 6 hour rehearsal on Saturday, a 6 hour rehearsal on Sunday, and then come home and do it all again for maybe like a month and a half leading up to the show. And we put in so much work and we put in so much time. And we had this whole set, you know what I mean, prepared for the show. We had choreographers come in and help, like, oh, on this song, you'll be on this side of the stage. And it was crazy. It was a whole production. It was crazy. And when we got to the stage and we got to the show and it was, you know what I mean, my turn to play, they told us last minute, they were like, hey, DYLI, like, you only have a 15-minute set. And we had prepared a 45-minute set, I believe. So you only have 15-minute set. So it was last minute. We had to, okay, we're going to play this song, this song, this song. It was so crazy. I had my in-ear in. I couldn't hear my voice. It was insane. And even though in the moment, at that very moment, I was like, what is even going on? I was so stressed out. But looking back at it, it's by far one of the most memorable moments that I've had so far in my career, because it just goes to show how quickly things could change. And even though we did all of that work leading up to it, you know, it didn't quite play out the way that it was supposed to, but it was still a crazy moment. I'll never forget that show ever.
Right. And, you know, a lot of artists have performed on South by Southwest throughout the years. You've definitely got a talent in music. And let's just say if you weren't doing music, you know, do you think you would have probably had a career in music or at least done something in music?
I think that I would. I think that music is really the only thing that like speaks to me, that I really feel a connection with. So I think if I wasn't working to be a performing artist, um, I'd be a songwriter or a producer or even a stage manager. I don't know. I think anything that I do would probably have something to do with music. I can't really see myself doing anything else or doing anything else and being happy about it. That's probably the best way to put it.
Now, you've released singles. I know that you released 2 albums in your career. And not to forget, I know that you just recently released an EP. So let's talk about your recently released EP. And, you know, since you've released 2 albums and singles, what are you working on as regarding your music career?
For the future, hopefully the near future, I would like to release a full-length album, probably like 10 to 15 songs. That's definitely the goal. As far as this most recent EP, it was the first time working with my producer now, Davion, at Dungeon Music. It was my first time working with him. And we just clicked. After I wrote New Bag, that was the first song I ever did with him. We got in the studio and we just like, he really matched my vibe. So we were like, you know what, I feel like it was so random the way that it happened. We're like, oh, we want to make an EP? Like, yeah, let's do it. So it was over the course of only a couple months actually that we really were like, okay, from point A to point B, like, let's make the EP, write the songs, get them recorded, and then boom, October we had a little masterpiece that we could put out. So that was it was a lot of fun. But you know, from that I was like, oh, I really want to make an album now, like a real full-length album. So hopefully that for the future.
What's been the motivation, or what has been the key to your success in your career so far?
My biggest motivation is the fear of not being able to work in the music industry, or the fear of not being able to do what I love. My passion and my love for it obviously is very driving, but I think the thing that keeps me up at night is, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't work out? So I feel like it's my fear of not being able to do what I love is definitely the thing that keeps me real in line with like, okay, time to get things going. Because like I said earlier, I wouldn't be happy doing anything else.
Of course, like, we vision things. And I know that in your career, I know you see yourself doing a lot of great things in your career, but let's just say 5 years down the line.
Wow. In the next 5 years, I am hoping to have a very steady foundation and a very steady platform in the music industry. So this would be something that I can rely on for the rest of my life. That as well as other things. I'd love to be, performing shows, tour, you know what I mean? Little things, maybe have my own brand or something. I would love to just be able to take this and run with it forever.
Any dream collaborations that you would want to work on?
Dream collaborations. There's a couple of artists who I would love to work with. I would love to work with SZA. She's one of my favorite artists. I think her voice is amazing. I would just love to like write with her. Her writing has been a big inspiration for me. I would love to work with SZA. I would love to work with Kendrick Lamar lyrically. And I would really like to work with Trippie Redd. He's just like my favorite artist. He's my favorite rapper. He has been for a really long time. So to be able to do a song with him, that would be amazing. So I have a couple. There's really no artist that I would not want to collaborate with because I listen to everything. But those are just a couple of probably my top three.
Now, in creating music, would you say that a certain beat or the lyrics is more important?
I think they kind of go hand in hand. I think that I've made songs before where lyrically I love the song, but I just don't really like the beat. I don't like the track that it's on. And to me, that'll make or break a song. But it's also when the beat is really strong and the lyrics don't match that vibe, that'll also make or break a song for me too. So it kind of just depends. I feel like they definitely go hand in hand lyrically. But at least for me personally, my lyrics have to match the beat. If they don't, then I just won't end up being happy with the song.
As an artist, how would you best describe yourself?
As very truthful. I think I always try and stay true to myself when I'm writing, when I'm making music, in interviews, whether it's sometimes it'll be my truth, sometimes it'll be me speaking somebody else's truth, but I would describe myself as very truthful and very much myself. Probably go hand in hand with me being truthful to myself. I think that that's probably one of the number one. I mean, I would love to be remembered for being, truthful and honest and open with myself and with other people. Because I think that that's, for anybody, I think that that's a really important quality to have and to live by. I think I've seen a lot of people throughout the years, even though I am still young, I've seen a lot of people throughout the years who have taught me lessons based on their actions or based on my actions. And it has always gone back to the same thing. And that is, you're not true to yourself, or you're not true to yourself or true to the situation. So that would be a pretty cool legacy. That would be a pretty cool way to be remembered.
Mention about your future plans and what you see for yourself and your career, but what are you presently working on right now? What's the present right now? What's going on?
Oh, I am trying to get a little tour planned, a couple of shows planned at the beginning of next year. So hopefully end of February, beginning of March. From now in between then and so forth, I'm just making music. Anything could happen at any moment. Maybe I'll release a single here. Maybe I'll wait till next year. I don't know yet.
Is there any artist in Stockton right now that you're listening to?
MmmHmm. Yeah, he's from Stockton and he's a rapper. I love his music. I actually don't think he's released a song that I don't like or that I wouldn't listen to. So I would definitely say, yeah, I'm always listening to him.
We're here with hip hop artist and R&B artist DYLI. She's, I can say she's just multi-talented in all different aspects of the world. So just want to say, keep doing what you're doing. You know, you got a lot of talent, and I'm wishing you all the best and wishing you all the success in the world.
Justin, thank you so much. And I also want to say thank you to everybody who's going to be tuning in and watching. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. And I'm going to have to make it out to Hawaii for a show. I definitely think that's going to happen.